Headed over to Bradwell on what was forecast to be a 5-star day. The wind was strong, so very few paragliders were flying. Takeoff was pretty straightforward, and it was lumpy out front, but after a few minutes in the air, a sporty thermal took us all the way to nearly 6,000 feet. In retrospect, the plan should have been to fly downwind towards the coast. Wind at takeoff was about 25 miles an hour and was certainly as strong, if not stronger, higher up, so it would have been easy to eat up the distance. We chose instead to head crosswind towards our best chance of a retrieve. This didn't work out since we were heading across large areas of sink instead of sticking to the lines of lift stretching out downwind. Once I was at cloudbase, I headed across to what looked like a decent cloud for the next climb, one that was trailing wispies just like the cloud I was currently flying in, and which had given me some 700 feet per minute lift. No joy, however, and I sank lower and lower as I worked my way along the valley in front of Curbar. Down at 800 feet above ground level over the town of Baslow, I could see a few promising landing fields and also hooked in some weak lift, which was drifting westwards. The best landing fields were eastwards, and I wasn't gaining enough height as I drifted away from these, so I pulled forward. By this time I was in total shade and had to land. There were a few contenders for landing fields, though many were downsloping, and as I got closer there were quite a few crossed with telegraph wires. I picked one near the main road, which was a bit smaller than the others, but sloped upwards into wind. I would need to be fairly low as I entered the field to be sure of not overshooting. It was quite turbulent coming in, but smoothed out as I came down to ground level. It's been a factor in a lot of my recent videos that I just don't flare hard enough, and this flight was another good example. I probably got into the wind shadow of the tree in the centre of the field just as I was about to touch down, so I flared too close to the ground and was unable to get my feet under me. Another 6 inches ground clearance and I think the landing would have looked much better. Should have continued downwind in line with the track of that first thermal, instead of going round the back of Avian and down the valley past Curbar. Track length was about 15 kilometres, but straight line from takeoff to landing was only about 11.